All right. So welcome back to Studio 39, aka the Bear Cave. I'm Rob Odie, and this is Spotlight 39, coming to you live just like we do Monday through Thursday, pretty much every week at or around 8 p.m. Remember, we're dealing with kids, so sometimes the timing's a little off, but nonetheless, before we get into tonight's, special guest, please comment down below. Tell us who you want to have on the show. Comment during this live broadcast. Show my man some love, and I'll bring it up on the screen. Make sure you hit that subscribe button too, man. That's the only way we're going to continue to grow. And give it a thumbs up. Thumbs up is strange enough how this video gets blown up. But look, now that all that stuff's out the way, I had to say all that at the beginning. Let's talk about you, man. That's what it's about. So let's learn a little bit about who you are, what you do, and all that good stuff, man. So the floor is yours. Tell us who you are, where you're from, and we'll go from there, man.
All right, cool. Well, my name is Marcus Scott II, and I play football at Woodlands College Park High School. I'm a 2022 cornerback. I'm a junior, and I'm just doing my thing on the field.
Doing your thing on the field, right? So class of 22. More importantly, where are you committed?
LSU Tigers.
There we go. Shout them out, right? So shout out
Yes,
LSU. And look, I got my little ticker here at the bottom, man, for my personal reminding, right? So 4-star cornerback. Is that that's through Rivals or is that through 247?
Yes, that's the Rivals.
Very cool, man. So 4-star cornerback. Obviously you got to put in a lot of work to get to that level. And I watched the huddle, man. The huddle's all right, right? I might have to do a little highlight reaction video to it. But class of 22. Let's talk a bit about how this fall went for you because you were fortunate enough to put on some pads, right, and play some ball.
Right.
So, how did your season go? What went well for you individually?
Well, I'd say what went well for me individually was this season I really found out who I was and what I could really do. See, it was my first year on varsity, so I really didn't really know what to expect. But I just went out there and I just played. Most of the season was just off of pure athleticism. So making some of the game-changing plays, it just felt right because I really didn't know how else to feel. I just really wanted to be in that leadership role and take over from the guys before me and just further out what they were doing.
Good deal, man. So, if we think about what went well, right, and then we think about the flip side, what is something that you recognize as an opportunity that you maybe could have done a little bit better? Maybe you could have been a little bit faster, explosive at. So what are you going to put focus on this off season to perfect your craft that much more, man, to get ready for your senior year?
Oh, well, definitely the weight gain and definitely getting a whole lot stronger. See, this season coming in, I wouldn't say that I was undersized, but I would just say that I should have been a whole lot bigger. So getting a whole lot stronger because the speed's always going to be there. But just getting a whole lot stronger is going to make me more of a dangerous player, and that's always what I aspire to be. And I'd also say I need to really I'm trying to work on like I said, getting into that leadership role and trying to lead the team now.
Yeah, man. Look, you're going to come into your senior year, in the locker room, and you're going to be you're going to be that captain, right? You're going to be that big man on campus if you're not already. And a lot of those guys are going to look up to you, especially the guys maybe they're a couple years under you, and they're looking to achieve what you achieve, right? So
Right.
definitely work on that leadership. I think you got it in you, and I think you're going to be a strong asset in the locker room. But more importantly, man, I'm super excited to watch you ball out on Saturdays. And look, I'm going to bring up our first comment on the screen, man. Let's see what they got. What's up, Marcus? Let's go. Right?
What's up?
So, it's cool to see people show you some love during the broadcast, man. But look, are you part of any 707 squad? Do you have any camps, combines? I know you're in Texas, and the Under Armour joint was just down there. Were you a part of that, or do you have any other plans, in the near future for events that you're going to be a part of?
Right. I'm actually a part of EPS Blades. It's 7-on-7 team out of Louisiana. It's a
Okay.
national team, and we've been doing our thing in every city for the past few weeks now. Like with that team, they've really taught me and they've really, refined my skill set. And I'm so appreciative, to be a part of a team like that. I'd say on a team like that, it's really iron sharpening iron. This past weekend we were in Atlanta, and the weekend before that we were in New Orleans, Panama City, Dallas. So, just going everywhere and going against the top talent, 3, 4, 5 stars, it didn't really matter. It's all the same, and that's why I really value the opportunity to play for them because in 7-on-7 there's no hiding. There's no hiding at all.
Not at
Everybody
all.
sees your face, sees every single movement. But now I would like to personally thank them for helping me refine my skill set and turn me into a way better corner than I was during the season. Which I was good during the season, but this next season is going to be special. I can promise you that.
Good deal, man. So look, you said you wanted to thank them, right? But you never dropped any names. So give them a shout out, man. Who do you want to shout out? Who do you want to thank?
I want to shout out Coach Franklin. Coach Franklin, he's been on me the most. He's been on me the most, but he's also been the one that's gone way into depth with every single thing that he's been trying to teach me and show me, and the things that he's still trying to teach me and show me. So I just want to say that I'm really appreciative, Coach Franklin, and I can't wait to keep on growing and playing with this team.
Nah, for sure, man. Look, you guys put in work on that 7-on-7 circuit, right?
Oh, for sure. I'd also like to thank my teammates. They've been really helpful because this was my first year doing 7-on-7 like this.
Okay.
So they've been running me the ropes. Cameron Spencer, Zion Clark, Curly Reed. They've always they were all there right from day one, showing me exactly what to do, exactly where to be, and I'm also very appreciative to them too for what they've been doing for me too.
Yeah, man. Look, those are some good people to have in company, right?
Right,
Yeah, man. I'm sure they definitely make you better every single day that you work out and practice, right?
right, every single day.
That's huge, man. So with the 7-on-7, man, what events do we got coming up? Do you have anything this weekend, or what's the next couple that you know of?
Not this weekend, but the weekend after this, we have another tournament, and I'm pretty sure it's in New Orleans. It's in New Orleans,
Okay.
New Orleans again. And a week after that, we're back in Dallas. But
Very cool.
we're gonna keep on trying to show out and keep on doing our thing. Blaze up.
I love it, man. I love it. So let's do this, man. And actually, let me kind of rewind. As far as camps or combines or anything like that, any of those coming up this off season? I know Rivals just dropped the dates for their camps.
Right. I just got invited to the Rivals camp. So we'll see how things shake out. But most likely we'll be attending all of those too.
Very cool, man. So now we can transition, right? Now we can transition from the football field to the classroom, man. Are you hitting those books as hard as you hit the field?
Man, the books, for a long time were the mainstay, and they still are the mainstay. My freshman year, I got Student of the Year, Swords of Success, being recognized for all types of academic achievement awards. Because I really pride myself on being a true student athlete. So the books, they've always been a big part of my life. My parents wouldn't have it any other way. That's the way that they made me. And the books, I would say I would say that I hit the books harder than I hit the field.
Good
You know,
deal.
because because the degree is always going to be there after football, and that's something that nobody could ever take away from you.
No, that's yeah, that's 100%, man. And shout out to your parents. I know your mom reached out to me on Twitter. She lined this up, made this happen. And I appreciate that. I appreciate you jumping on and sharing your story, man. You got a lot of talent. I was watching you from afar, and then when Mom Dukes hit me up, I was like, "Cool, man. Let's do it. Let's get him on, right? Let's share the
Right.
story and let's see what he's got." So let's let's talk about the recruiting process now. That's probably the most exciting conversation, right? Because
Yeah,
it's
for
a lot
sure.
of people reach out and say, "Hey, man, we want you to be a part of what we got going on. We feel like you're a good fit, so on and so forth." So let's kind of rewind the clock. Let's think about that breakthrough aha moment, that really kickstarted your recruiting process. And if you don't mind, kind of just walk us through that and ultimately what led you to LSU.
Well, for my recruiting process, it actually started in the middle of the season this season. I think it was after the fourth game. I made a 4 game season highlights, and my mom. This is the same thing that she did with my sister. She wanted to kickstart a recruiting process from there. So I made the 4 game season highlights, and I sent it to over 40 and 50 schools, D1, Power Five, HBCUs, Ivy League. Sent it to everybody. Just trying to get my name out there, get
Yeah,
my foot in the door. So another 4 games go by, and then I had the 8 games highlights. I did the exact same thing, but I didn't just send it to the individual football accounts. I found out the individual coaches, the individual defensive backs handles, and if they didn't have a Twitter handle that I could DM, I found out their email and send it to them, just to find any way to get my foot in the door. And strangely, LSU was the first to respond through an email at first, saying that
Okay.
they were going to send my film to the defensive backs coach, and a couple other schools responded too. But and then after the season, I think it was about 2 weeks after the season ended is when I got the initial call from LSU. They called my dad at first. My dad called me and told me that LSU was on the phone, and I was like, "What?" And then a week later, which was January 2nd of 2021, was when I got my first offer from LSU,
So
which
it's kind of skyrocketed very quickly, right?
very, very quickly, because before LSU, I was completely under the radar, and even after I got LSU, I was completely under the radar. I had no stars, no rating at all, and I didn't have any rating until probably after my fourth offer. You know, but that was the recruiting process. It was much more of a direct line than a process. But I'm definitely so appreciative that to be blessed to have that caliber of a coach, want me and want me first,
Yeah.
without having to have all the stars and have the rating. But it's still been a process though, because after that, that really kick started it, and I started drawing more attention from more schools, and they started DMing me, calling me, just to see what I was about, because LSU got my foot in the door, so then all these other schools started looking at me too. But
Okay.
you see, my mom and dad both went to Oklahoma, and my dad played corner at OU, so of course I grew up being an OU fan. But
Absolutely.
I yeah, but growing up, my dad had me do research on which schools develop DBs the most, and he told me to be realistic. He told me to look at the measurables of the DBs and the caliber of the DBs at each school I wanted to go to, and see if I met those characteristics. And if not, I need to make myself into the characteristics of those DBs of the schools I wanted to go to. And as far as DB development, I knew for a fact that LSU was at the top of the list. So to have them as my first offer, it seemed like a complete no-brainer to go ahead and commit. It was it really felt like I needed to do, because I really wanted to work towards the offer that I wanted, and that was what I wanted.
That was the one we were
That
going
was the
after, right?
right. It was that's DBU, and that was the school that continuously out DBs year in and year out.
That
So
they
it
do.
really felt.
Yeah, man. So look, I don't want to cut you off, but there's a few points that you made throughout this conversation, man, that just strikes home, and I try to stress it every single time I'm talking to anybody that's trying to be recruited, right? And that's you took the time to put in the work, right? Like you
Mm-hmm.
said, halfway through the season, 4 or 5 games in, you made a highlight reel and you sent it out to very specific coaches, right?
Right.
You put in the work. You did that. And then you redid it at the end of the season, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then by doing so, the fruits of your labor, it worked out, right? You got the
Right.
email from LSU. It started the conversation piece, and then from there, it ultimately led to being the program that you ideally wanted to go to because they produce DB,
Mhm.
right? So the fact
Right.
that you recognize that, and it's great to go through the recruiting process. It's great to have the fame, right? It's one thing to have 50 offers. You've got the Bama, you got the Ohio State, LSU's, Clemson's, right? You get all those offers and it
Mhm.
feels great. And I'm super proud of anybody that gets those. But at the same time, a lot of those young men, they tend to kind of feel Hollywood, right? They tend to
Right.
kind of, their head blows up and they feel like they're unstoppable, and you know everybody wants them, right? And the reality of things,
Right.
this is a business, right? And if you've got a
Mm-hmm.
specific, desire, such as yourself, you want it to be a part of a program that produces, DBs year in year out, and you
Mm-hmm.
struck gold with LSU, right? So
Right.
that's I just wanted to highlight that, while you were talking, man, because it was incredibly well put, and it's something that I try to stress every single time I talk to anybody. So, great job in putting in the work, not being afraid to, not be responded to or hear the word no. Like you said, man, you were under the radar. You were under recruited per se. You didn't have any star rankings. You were just a normal high school football player, like pretty much everybody out there, right? And
Correct.
then from there, let me see. I'm trying to keep up with your comments here, man. A lot of people showing you love. But from there, you put in the work. You had a pretty pretty spectacular junior season, and then you start to put in the work behind the scenes to make yourself available and make yourself known. And then from there, man, like at what point did rivals come, knocking it, and you get that rivals rating?
I would say rivals actually came about a day later after the LSU offer because that drew a ton of attention. Everybody was really trying to figure out who I was and what I was about. And you actually made a point earlier, saying that the highly recruited guys become Hollywood, but that has never been my mentality at all. I've actually, for the most part, started off on the bottom rung on everything that I've done, because growing up in mostly New Mexico most of my life, and then coming to Texas right before high school, I was completely blindsided by the athletic explosion in the state of
Oh
Texas.
man,
So
Texas is
I
lit up, right?
yes, it is. The my athleticism was there, but physically I was behind. So I had to continually work and work and work just to get on equal footing. And then after that, I had to keep on pushing to separate myself from everybody else to really make myself seen in the state of Texas, in Texas 6A. Because being in the Houston
Which is
metro area
not easy to
is
do.
something. It is not easy at all. But being in the Houston metro area as some of the nation's top talent, it's something that I had to do. If I was gonna play this game in Texas 6A, it's something that I had to do to continually put in the work just to get out there. Because like I said, this was my first year on varsity, but all last year I was working to get to this point. And this offseason, I have worked harder than any other offseason I ever had before, even after the LSU offer, because I've never just felt satisfied with just getting my foot in the door. Like this year we won district. We had our best season yet in school history, and I was just so happy to be a part of it. So happy to be a major contributor in it, and and we made it to the playoffs too for the first time. But still, like this, that still was not enough for me. Like the day after, I was back in the weight room working on my craft again to get better for next season, because losing in the playoff hurts. It hurts. So I had to get right back in it and get right back to work.
Yep.
And so that really leads us to where we are now. Still not satisfied.
Still not satisfied. Look, man, anytime I can plug my man Darius, he's the reason for the podcast. He's the logo behind the scenes, right? Uh, that mentality of, just staying hungry, right? And always putting in
Mm-hmm.
the work, that's exactly, what he focused on, man. He wanted to make sure he sharpened his craft to get what he wanted. And that's exactly what you got going on. And I think that's exactly why you're going to be successful. Not just at LSU, but I think, many years thereafter, man. I think you're set up for success. I think you got the right mindset. I think you got a lot of great things happening for you. And the best part is, man, you're only a junior, right? You get to come back and you get to do this all over again, right?
Yes, sir. I'm 16 years old.
That's it, man. So let's do this. As much as I like talking about football, and I'm sure as much as you like talking about football, let's stop talking about football, right? Because I think it's
Right.
more important to learn about who you are as a person and talk about yourself. So outside of the game, when you're not working out, when you're not training, when you're not playing a video game that's got football in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anything outside of the game, put that aside, man. Who are you as a person, right? As a kid, you're still like you said, man, 16 years old and growing. So what do you like to do? What are you involved with? Share with us who you are outside of the game.
Well, outside of the game, uh, I would say that I'm, more like any other kid. I really love to hang out with my friends. My friends are like what grounds me from the game right now. Hanging out with my friends and just, really living life as a normal teenager. But I also have two younger siblings, two little sisters, and they really keep me on my toes all the time. So being a good role model to them is really important to me too. So really, whenever I'm not playing the game of music with them, playing a
Okay.
game, but not the same game. And if I'm not with them, I'm with my friends. I really just like to stay active because I'm a very social person. I
Okay.
really like to stay active and be involved with people. But if I'm not in one of those two places, I'm usually either at church on Sundays, studying the Bible, because it's always all grace to God in everything that I
100%.
do. But I would say that when I'm not playing the game or working out or at practice, that's usually in the places I'm with my family or my friends.
Good deal, man. So let's peel back the onion a little bit, man. Let's dig a little deeper and find out who you are, man. So before we went live, I told you to kind of think about some things, and it's all good, right? Let's just
Mhm.
what type of music do you listen to? Do you collect shoes, right? Are you do you draw? Do you write? What are some fun things or some things that you enjoy to clear your mind? Just being you.
Well, actually, things that I do to clear my mind, I would say I actually am a writer. I've actually become very in tune with writing since I was about 10 years old.
Okay.
Because in New Mexico, when I was living in New Mexico, I attended the school, Albuquerque Academy, and it was a writing test to get into the school. And they said that they were just blown away with my writing. So hearing that, I was like, okay, well maybe I'm actually really good at this. So I've really become really in tune with writing. I love writing story. Really, I like writing sci-fi stories.
Okay.
About utopian Earth, just to see like my vision for the Earth. Really like writing about that. It really clears my mind, and it's a great pastime too. But
Very
as far as collecting shoes, you're not gonna find a bigger sneakerhead than me.
okay.
I have
Oh man, I've had
probably
a
and
handful on the show though, man.
Really Jordan specifically,
All right,
really
so
Jordan
so so
specifically.
so you, so you rock the Jays, right? Look, man, I got my man Jordan behind me. I got a handful of the Jordan pops. I'm a big Jordan fan. Thankfully, I got to grow up watching the man play basketball, man. Like I didn't just get to
Yeah.
watch the highlight films; I got to watch him play. So, you know, now on a side note, my favorite player of all time is Allen Iverson. I'm here in Virginia, AI
Uh,
guy, right? I got to watch him play too. But look, big respect to Jordan, especially what he did in the shoe game. So, what's your best pair or your favorite pair or maybe even your most valuable pair of J's that you got?
my most valuable pair of J's. I say my most valuable pair of J's to me is the original Jordan ones, and I
Oh,
know everybody likes to wear them now, but they were always my favorite since I was about, I'd say, 6 years old. I think that's
okay.
when I got my first pair of Jordans when I was 6 years old, and I've always just been completely enamored with every single shoe that comes out. Well, okay, well, most shoes that come out, but yeah, it's just been like a big part of my life. It's something that I don't really think about too much until somebody asks me about it. Then I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm kind of a sneakerhead. But yeah, the original ones, it's just because of what they, what they symbolize,
No,
which
for
is,
sure.
Jordan's initial walk out into the NBA.
So with the with
And I,
the with the J1s, man, are you going with the original colorway or you gotta because man they've been released I don't know how many colorways, right? So what's your go-to
yeah,
colorway?
I'm always rocking with the original colorways. I really only have three main colors that I wear. I wear red, blue, and black.
There you go.
So,
Well,
them
that's about to
shoes,
change, right? You about to incorporate a little purple and gold in the mix, right?
more purple and gold. Yep, that's right.
Yeah, man, and that's cool, man. So music wise, what do we got? Music, man. What's your go-to artist right now?
Right now, really, always my go-to always it's always been Tupac Shakur.
Oh, you're a Tupac guy.
Always,
Okay.
yeah,
You are
since
you
I was
you
a
are.
child.
I was gonna say New Mexico. You being out pretty much on the West Coast, right? Okay.
Yeah,
Look,
pretty
man.
much.
I respect pop, but I'm a big Biggie guy, right? I actually watched the
Okay,
Netflix
okay.
Biggie joint earlier. But go ahead,
Yeah,
man. Yeah,
Tupac
so go
Shakur.
ahead. Big Pac fan, right? So what's the Pac song? What's the playlist? When you get hype, when you're working out or you getting ready to hit the field, man. What's on the playlist?
The first song that I ever heard from Tupac was Hail Mary. So Hail
Oh,
Mary always be the first song on the playlist all the time. Hail Mary, Ambitions as a Writer, Dear Mama always hits,
look, you can't go wrong with Dear Mama,
Changes,
right?
I Mean That, right.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, but
Anybody else? Other, any modern, you got any modern, rappers or R&B artists, country artists, jazz artists, whoever you like.
I wouldn't really say modern. I really like to, well, unless you consider Lil Wayne modern, because Lil Wayne's
Well,
another one of my artists that I listen to all the time.
he's still relevant.
But
I wouldn't say he's
yeah,
modern,
he's
right?
still relevant,
Yeah,
right?
he was what 17 when I was in high school, so he's around my age. But man, look, Wayne's done put in some work.
Exactly.
We didn't see Wayne at the highs and the lows, but regardless, you there ain't many people that can touch my man, when it comes to the flow, right? And
Right.
maybe
You
that's
so
just
you
my
know.
opinion. I don't know, but you
Nah,
look
you're right. You're
you
right.
down you about to go down to his neck of the woods, right? So you might stumble across Wayne
Hmm.
from here or there, man. Look,
Yeah.
he's down there quite a bit. But that's cool, man. What else you got for us? Anything else?
Tupac, Lil Wayne, and oh, okay. If you want to go modern, I would say that Migos are another one that I like to listen to.
Okay.
You know, they're more of the weight room music. You know, get yourself hyped before
I
a
was about to say,
game.
man, they get you pumped, right?
Right.
There
You
you
know,
go.
Tupac is Tupac. He can either go, he can get you hype, or he can also go really mellow. So Tupac's like the round guy,
No, that's
but
exactly
Migos
it,
are like
right? You
right,
could bang Tupac before the game, and then he's got tracks that you can bang after the game to calm yourself down, right?
exactly.
I love it. Cool, man. So look, I'm gonna do this first and foremost. I'm gonna thank you for taking the time to jump on and share your story, man. I'm gonna thank all your supporters that's showing you mad love throughout the broadcast, and I'm gonna thank your parents, man. Specifically your mom for reaching out. It was a blessing to have you on the show and share your story. So thank you to her. And I'm just gonna close it out with the same question I do every single time, and that question is: what motivates and what drives you to want to wake up tomorrow and be that much more successful than you were today?
Well, what motivates me? I'd say that motivates me the most is just knowing how small my circle of support was at the beginning. Just knowing all the people that truly believed in me and truly knew how far I could go at the beginning, and just knowing how many people thought otherwise. It's not a slight towards anybody, but just knowing how many people overlooked me, how many people pushed me aside for whatever reason. Just knowing that I'm proving them wrong every single day is what motivates me, because I'm also proving myself right, that this is what I was meant to do, and this because, well, what a lot of people don't know is that coming up, not being in Texas, it's completely different. I wasn't completely immersed into football. It was something that I chose to do, but when I came to Texas, I've been cut from teams. I've been selected. I've been pushed to the side, and that's what motivates me every single day. Thinking about how I felt in those moments and knowing that I never want to feel that again. So
And
if anything motivates me the most, then it's definitely knowing what I can do and knowing that I'm proving my support system right and proving the doubters wrong.
And look, that's incredibly well put. Throughout this whole conversation we've had, man, you represent yourself incredibly well. And for that, I absolutely have no doubt that you're going to have an incredible future. LSU is super super lucky to have you in their locker room, man. Um, you know, Shout out to the support group. Because big or small, whether they rock with you since day one or not. Right now, man, you got mad people showing you all kinds of love that we I'm having trouble keeping up on the screen right now, man. We got somebody that said, "Thank you, gentlemen. Good job, mom. Focus, stay humble. Can't wait to see you in purple and gold, right? And then in the NFL in 2025, that's the goal, right? That's the
Yes,
end
sir.
goal, man. Let's
Yes,
go
sir.
to LSU, show out, right? Be the next Honey Badger, right?
Yes, sir.
That's the goal, right? So that's awesome. I'm done lost my train of thought, so I'm gonna do this. I'm just gonna close it out. I'm gonna thank everybody that's been commenting, that's watched, that's gonna watch, and I'm just gonna ask that everybody please, please, please help continue to grow this channel. Subscribe, share across all your social media so we can continue to blow this thing up. Let's continue to get these student athlete stories out there because I say it all the time. Everybody's got a story to share, and I think everybody's story can impact somebody in a positive way. And there's no doubt that anybody that watches your story, they can learn something, man, specifically around that recruiting process and the fact that you're more than willing to put in the work. So look, before I close it out, I'm just gonna try to get a couple of more comments up on the screen, man. I'm gonna see if I can load it up, right? So just tons and tons of people. Support group is just nonstop, man. So stay safe, stay healthy. Let's stay in contact, man. Let's run this back next year, right? Let's talk about how much better you got, right? And then once you get
Sure.
to college, then we're gonna talk about how you went into LSU and you just showed out and you the big man on campus, right? You're the next honey badger. So I appreciate you taking the time, man. This was Spotlight 39. I'm Rob Odie. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy. We'll talk. All right.
All right. Sounds good.
Appreciate you.